Welcome guys to part 2 of my Farming Simulator 19 playthrough of No Man's Land. I just kind of started part 1. Hopefully I'll have that up by the time you're watching this. We've expanded the farm. I'm going to go ahead and keep going on this corn. We've expanded the farm immensely. Now I've done this only by... just want to, be straightforward. I do have a windmill that gives me $1,000 an hour, and I have an antenna that gives me $2,000 an hour. That's kind of necessary to grow. That's not that much. Other than that, it's all been farming, and I've expanded this quite a bit. I'm just gonna kind of talk you through while my last video, this whole field was not here. This whole field was new. Turn my harvester off here, and I'm still working with pretty basic stuff. You see, here's one great advantage of No Man's Land. It's a map on Farming Simulator 19, and you see a lot of cool assets like buildings and stuff like that. And over there is my whole industrial complex, I guess you could call it, where all the crap is. And we'll go over there. We're going to fill this hopper one more time. I'd like to fill up these tippers. I got two 21,000-liter tippers over there, way in the distance. And I think we're going to fill them before this is done. And let's go ahead and start harvesting again. Okay, so some people like to, that's the beauty of the game. Some people like to farm small, some people like to farm big. I like doing big, huge farms. This map, especially No Man's Land, it starts you off with, here, let's go ahead and stop it again. This harvester, the New Holland TX32, and it starts you off with a 4-meter header. Now, I do use a lot of mods. I don't use any mods, they're all just quality of life mods. And right here I have a 6+ meter wide header. This is an upgrade to what I bought, but it's kind of necessary. The next thing, let's go ahead and start harvesting again. The next thing we'll be looking at is tractor upgrades. I really want to upgrade my harvester. As you can see, I got $173,000. That money, plus if I sold this harvester, I could get a newer, bigger harvester. There's some John Deere harvesters in here that have 13-meter wider headers. Again, we're talking mods, but of course they exist in real life. One applicable thing about this is that there's a bit of farming around where I currently live in Colorado. Corn here is a big thing, both foraging and actually harvesting the corn. Mostly where I live, because it's drier. I'm not an expert, but I've seen them run them. And it seems like here they mostly forage, and that's because it's drier here where I live, so this is a great place for hay and things like that, and silage for cattle and things like that. And I've seen them running the big foragers with two chase trucks catching all the forage. I mention that because just today, the last of the cornfields around where I live, the whole area where I live in western Colorado, as of just today, the last cornfield is clear. What is today? Today is September 28th. As of today, all the cornfields here are bare. And I thought that was cool because I was watching them. There's one cornfield down from my house, and every day there'd be one or two more runs taken through it. They were slowly chipping away in it, and then yesterday when I saw it, there was maybe 20 meters of corn taken out. And then today I drove by it and the whole field was empty. They must have worked their ass off. Today's Monday. They must have worked their ass off on Sunday with, I'm assuming they did forage harvesting. It's just what I'm assuming given the climate around here and what I've seen. They must have worked their ass off, at least one or two of those things, and several. Actually, I did see a huge 40,000-liter truck running on the road that was overflowing with grain. And again, I'm assuming what they're doing is foraging. Now, not far from where I live is very farmers are farming corn, because I live near. I live in Delta, Colorado. I live near Olathe, which is world famous for their sweet corn, or at least nationwide famous for their sweet corn. So they're actually harvesting the corn. To my knowledge, and from what I've seen here, they're just foraging. And to those of you who are not farmers, what that means is instead of harvesting the corn, they run different kinds of harvesters, and they basically just grind it all up. They just grind it all up, and then they ferment it into silage for cattle and stuff, because cattle is a huge thing in Colorado. Now, I know in the background you're seeing a row of corn. The thing is, I'm still starting off. I'm going to pull up my map. I'm really still starting off in no man's land. This is one of the top maps, at least on console, and my personal favorite. And it really starts you off with nothing. I started off small. You can see, as of right now, I only own plots 26 and 25. And right here, I kind of made the field up on the edge of 26, thinking that I could, but I couldn't. And that's why there's those rows of corn there. Don't worry, we'll buy those soon enough. But those are $85,000 a plot here. And right now, though I would love a bigger harvester, I'm really more concerned. We're going to fill this harvester, and then I'll show you the farm. I'll take it back to the farm that I showed you in the last episode. Right now, as bad as I want a bigger harvester, like there's some here. Let's, I know it's a little bit loud. There are some, especially when you use mods, there are some gnarly harvesters here. And yes, I have some. You see, I have some old school stuff from the '90s because I like old school equipment because I grew up in the '80s and '90s. But let's have a look at the corn headers. Right now, I'm doing corn, but there's going to be a plot twist coming up soon. Look at some of these corn headers that are just like right here, 12 meters. 12 meter wide headers, which are exclusively fit for John Deere tractors. I have those harvesters, but there you're talking about a $500,000 investment. Of course, all these tractors and everything that we're using actually exist. For those of you who have not played Farming Simulator, everything here 99% actually exists. I mean, all the tractors you use actually exist. There's some cars and attachments they made up, but no, I've not Googled it, but I'm sure the New Holland TX32 actually exists. I want to upgrade from it, but I think about that as I'm doing this, but then I think to myself, yeah, but now, see, this huge cornfield, this is only one of two that I've got right now. After I finish this, I've got to cultivate, resow, and fertilize and everything. And even though this is a little bit slow going, I'd really love a bigger tractor to pull the bigger cultivators, because this thing is a kind of a pain to cultivate. Okay, let's finish off this hopper. Wow, that's convenient. Right as we pull up to the truck. And let's just stop right there. Let's turn the harvester off. Let's open up the pipe and back up here. Obviously, this field is going to fill both of these tippers. And I'll show you the rest of the farm. I showed you where we were at last time. Okay, we got a second to talk while this thing downloads. Let's go ahead and fold up my header. I love watching this header fold up. This is a mod, this header. I'm sure it exists in real life. Maybe. We'll pull it up and see. It just looks sexy. Let's see. What is that corn header that I'm using? It is a mod. It's New Holland 980 CFX. That means nothing to me because I'm not a farmer. I just live near farmland and I've grown up near farmland. By the way, as long as we're on my menu, here's some of my favorite stuff. Okay, we're using, well, the tractors I could afford. We are looking to upgrade. I do like these two tractors. And this one right here is my fertilizing tractor. This right here is my primary farming tractor. It pulls good horsepower. It does what I need it to do, but we need something really big to pull the big cultivators. And we run this harvester right now. This is still the starting one. I can sell it for only $65,000, but that would lead towards something bigger. Any kind of loader is just essential. And this is a mod. I do believe the C232 is in the game, but this one's a little better just because it has more modification options. These are both in the game tippers. These are just good tippers. And this is a mod. This is a great plow for me, for my purposes. Also a mod. This is, again, and here's the thing. Here's where tractor limitations hit. You know, my tractor has 263 horsepower, and you can only pull so big a cultivator and plow. Here's my planter that I'm currently using. And yeah, I'd like to upgrade that, but I need bigger tractors to do that kind of stuff. But here's my whole garage of random stuff that I have. And we'll go through all that. Let's go. Oh, that's finished. Let's finish that. Let's take a tour of my... We're going to leave the harvester here because we're not done. We are not done by a long shot. Let's fold the harvester back up. And so this is my primary tractor right now. This is what I'm looking to upgrade. I'm happy with my fertilizing tractor. You don't need a lot of horsepower to run a fertilizer, but this guy does need a lot of power. And this guy is good. I mean, he is, but it could use a little upgrade. Let me take a tour. Let me take you on a tour of the farm. Wait, we don't need to pull the tippers with this. We really don't. Let's leave them here because we're going to be coming back and finishing this on our own time. I try to follow the roads, and this is one reason I like about No Man's Land. He kind of pre-lays roads out for you, so I've made roads where he said to make them. That way I can kind of follow my mini-map. So here is the No Man's Land starting farm, which has vastly changed from the beginning. This is all using mostly really Alien Gym assets. Up here, I think I said in the last video I was going to put a parking area. Turns out I needed a lumber mill bad. I had a lot of trees I had to remove to do what I did back there and stuff like that. And to my knowledge, this map comes with no wood. I mean, this map basically comes with one general sell point. So anyway, I made a wood sell point up here, wood and wood chips. I did a little decorating, still working on the decorating as you can see. Let's drive down here back to the main farm, and you're going to notice a lot of differences down here. So here's the main field. This is the only, when I say this is the main, this is the only field the map starts you off with. I said I wanted to do a bit of an industrial look around here, and as you can see, I've accomplished that. I had to do a lot of clearing, moving vehicles and stuff around to make room for these buildings. So here, this is where, in No Man's Land, this is where your house starts off. I replaced it with this big drive-through thing, and we have a wash station here to clean off your tractors. Let me zoom in back a little bit. Tractor's going to be louder, but let me zoom back in. And then over here we have a repair and wash station. I like this particular mod. I don't know where it comes from, but I like this particular one. It looks like a cool mechanic shop. Here we have a diesel fuel tank. I like this particular fuel tank because it looks like what I see on typical farms, the suspended tank. And then I got some decorations. There's my water mill. It makes me a little bit of money. And then of course you can see the shower of the towering like cell tower. That makes me a couple thousand. So I think together it's $3,000 an hour, which if you've played this game is not a whole lot. It's just enough to get you by, really. And I only own these 2 parcels of land. Drive back up here. Yeah, I'm still working on terraforming, but as those of you who play this game know, terraforming is extremely expensive. So I'm working my best on smoothing out the land. I like hilly fields, but I'm trying to smooth this out a little bit. Now, this is, if you'll notice, this is 2 fields. The one on the left right here, this one is actually intended to be grass because I want to have sheep and cattle and things like that eventually, somewhere over there maybe, or maybe down south. This was intended to be grass, but right now I'm still starting. This is only part 2 of this series, and I literally did start this from scratch. And I started off, if you didn't see part 1, I sold everything and used that bankroll to start over. I'm still trying to get the money. Right now, farming corn for me is working well. Like, I don't really have any use for grass. Sure, I can sell it, but I don't have any sheep or cattle or pigs yet. So I don't have any use for grass or hay or whatever. So my best usage is, but you can see there's a division here between the fields. So right now, it's just kind of one big connected cornfield. I do like farming corn. Now, eventually, I'd like to move into cotton. But again, just like I can't make this a grass field yet because I don't have the $100+ grand to invest in like all the grass for, oh shit, probably maybe 200,000 or 300,000. Depends how ghetto you want to be with your grass collection. But you can invest as much as 300 grand in. We're not just talking mowers. We're talking tedders, windrowers, forage wagons, everything else like that to collect all that stuff. And then, of course, a place to put it, some sheds, buildings, and or silos, whatever, to store it. Other than baling equipment, things like that. So just a field of grass may not seem like much, but it actually adds up. So I'm working towards that by doing corn. Let's go back to our main farm here. Yeah, still no livestock here. I love this map because you get to like start over. You know, you get to start from scratch. Oh yeah, I've also been working on adding like these trees here. I added these trees. I'm working on beautifying this place. I'm gonna have the roads looking better. I'm working on smoothing out the territory. The land's okay. I'm working on smoothing it a bit. Things like here where you see this rough concrete texture colliding with the road. I'm working on that. Like you can see right here, I put a little hedge in there. I put some trees over there. I'll work on putting some more puddles and grass splotches here and there. Up here, something else I've changed since last episode. We have some sheds now because I've just simply had to buy a lot of equipment. Equipment is so necessary. Like, oh my God. When they say it takes money to make money, if you played Farming Simulator, then you know. These are all essential things. Each bay here in this shed is essential. Like right here. So, let's hop out of my tractor. Cultivating equipment. Rear weight for the vehicle and a front cultivator. Here we have my planting equipment. Front spare storage, which I use for fertilizer. And this is a 6-meter wide planter, which is really the biggest and best I can run, and that's one reason I'm looking into a bigger tractor. I can exponentially increase the size of all this equipment with a bigger tractor. This guy was doing fine, but that field of corn back there is getting bigger and bigger. That's my point. That field back there is getting bigger and bigger, and I'm going to want a tractor with at least 500 horsepower eventually. Here I got my plow, my favorite plow that I use, parked here, and then this is such an essential piece of equipment. It's a mulcher. It's best thing in the game to cut down tree stumps. When you're doing tree removal, yeah, this is the guy you want. It's a mod. And then here's my fertilizing tractor. It's only got like 130 horsepower. It doesn't matter. It's got all it needs. Sure, I'd love to have a big, huge, fancy, you know, fertilizing crop protection thing, but this thing works just fine for right now. Here's all my skid steer equipment, log grab, pallet forks, bale spikes, and then you'll see my skid steer actually parked up here. This is the main road in and out of the farm. Yes, there's a couple more sheds. This right here is the main road that comes into the farm. And so right here I have a ramp. So I can use my skid steer to load stuff into the back of tippers. Right now my skid steer is parked here because it has like a full load of fertilizer in the bucket, which just left over. I scooped off the ground there. But anyway, so here I can drive trucks by, and the ramp's necessary because skid steer is just too small to dump stuff into a big tipper. That's why these kinds of things exist. Here, well, this is where I park my harvester. I'll probably use this area here for some of the bales that I have laying around over there. I need to come collect all these bales. I still don't have a proper trailer to put the darn bales on. Not really. And this is my, this is a mod. I got tired of using the same manure spreader that's in the game, so I'm using this. It's just as good, just looks different. I like using unique stuff. Tractors I'm looking forward to getting to, so let's go ahead and tie this up. So you can see a lot's happened since part 1 of my No Man's Land farm. Hey, No Man's Land was made for this. It's made empty with one field, one shack, and an outhouse, basically. No Man's Land by Alien Jim is made to create the way you want, and I've been slowly working on it, but this is a slow process. Like even up there, you know, you can see that kind of hill plateau where those buildings are. A lot of work, time, and money went into all that, but you have a whole map here to do everything you want. Some of the tractors that I'm really looking at now, again, everyone's going to have different mods. I'm looking at a large tractor. I'm currently using a medium, a fairly, you know, kind of high-end medium tractor. One tractor I'm really looking at, really thinking about this because I've used it before. This is added by DLC. This is paid DLC. There's very little of it in this game. This is one of them. It's the class Xeron 5000. I like this because it's full-on four-wheel steering. Some of these big tractors, they articulate, which is fine, but that takes time for them to turn. The Xeron 5000, which you see right here, is full-on four-wheel steering. You can double up the wheels, get more traction. You can get up to, well, let's find out. Let's just have a look here. So I can put wide tires. I can get twin wheels on it. And I can get this thing up to 530 horsepower. And it turns pretty quick. It's got front and rear linkage. It's really got everything you need. Okay, and I could look at tractors all day. But then if we move it to something like this, and this is also an option. This is the big bad boy of them all, of course. And in fact, in real life, this is the largest tractor in the world. Look up some YouTube videos if you want. There's some YouTube videos of the Big Bud 747. This is a real tractor. It's redonkulous huge. You can even go with triple wheels on the thing. But good luck driving it down the road with that. I prefer it personally like this. Now, the thing with the Big Bud, no linkage in the front, no linkage on the rear, just a trailer hitch, which is all you have. But all the big equipment, really just, you can operate anything off this. Any of the big stuff, well, this is made for big stuff. Like the big, like, you know, 90-foot wide cultivators and things like that. So eventually this would be something I'd be looking at. It looks useless when you first start the game. You're like, there's no linkage. I can't put anything on it. Trust me. When you get to, like, big farms, if you want to do big farms, trailer hitch is all you need. And I can run attachers and multiple other things off it. If I wanted to, I could link a dolly to it and run other attachments and everything like that. But then you have problems with backing up because then you have like multiple, you know, points of turning in it. Whatever, it's a different thing. Kind of leaning towards, there's other ones I skipped over, like the Agco 1000 series is another good large tractor I like. And I'm not as big on the quad tracks, things like that. I'm not as big in articulating tractors because they take time to turn. All right, so that's kind of where we're at right now. I guess we're going to go back to over here and continue. We're going to hook this back up to our tippers. There's a couple other roads I have carved out that lead back to where we were reaping that corn. That's my main thing right now. I mean, this is the time of year to reap corn, so that's kind of fitting. That's what I'm doing right now. We're going to go back and hook this up to our tippers. And I'm going to continue on with the harvester. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. This game is really oddly interesting because you can do pretty much anything. I'm looking forward to the next installment, but as I do believe I mentioned in my last video, Farming Simulator 21 as of right now is unannounced, and that is because right now, this holiday season, when you'd expect to see Farming Simulator 21, the new gen consoles are coming out. So, and the statements I read is that the software company who makes Farming Simulator is holding off to wait. I guess what I saw is basically, you know, indefinite. They're just waiting to see what's going to happen with the new console releases, and then they'll decide. Now, this game, of course, runs on PC and probably better on PC. Definitely more mods. Well, it's not necessarily that there's more mods. It's that as I run this on PS4, I have a limit to how many mods I can run at a time, which really pisses me off because I'm always running it at 100%. On PS4, you can run maybe, I don't know, guys. I haven't really done the math. Maybe 4 or so gigabytes of mods. They add up fast. But anyway, this runs on PC and consoles. And what a great addicting game, guys. It's Unfold My Harvester, and I'm going to get back to work here. And hopefully the next time I see you, I should have a bigger tractor. Let's see, it's currently 11:46 a.m. I got $180,000. I imagine the grain here is going to sell for another, I think we can get, if you can get these tippers full, I can get $50,000 in corn. And then, of course, you got to figure in I may sell one of my previous tractors. Next thing you see me, hopefully I'll have a bigger tractor and a bigger harvester. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. I'm Dark Kelly. I'm going to get back to harvesting. Guys, it was great talking to you. I'll catch you all next time.